So standing on the word of prayer. Gracious Heavenly Father, Lord God, we thank you for this glorious day you've given us. Heavenly Father, we just pray now that you be with us as we make decisions for our county and our communities, dear Lord, and pray, dear Lord, that we just bless you in whatever we do. Heavenly Father, you bless us with your presence. Heavenly Father, with these things we pray in Jesus' precious name. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Maybe we will have roll call. Commissioners, please answer with present. Warren Fleetwood. Present. Mary Key.
Present.
Ken Montgomery.
Present.
Everyone is present. We have a full board.
Thank you, sir. Approval of our minutes from our last meeting. Everyone had an opportunity to read those minutes.
I have read them, and I'll make a motion to approve.
And I second that motion.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
3-0. Next up, approval of claims. Do we have any questions or concerns before I read the amounts?
I never noticed anything.
County General, $182,640.36. Courts, $10,276.09. Highway, $13,774.12. Sheriff's Department, $5,062.42. ACH, $94,946.79. CAW one, $3,813.02. CAW two, $23,229.97. CAW three, $10,409.97. The will, surtax, and innkeeper's distribution, $51,705.71. Excess refunds, ditch claims, $63,551.89. Payroll for January 29th, 2021, $348,989.73. Payroll deductions, $163,016.08. The insurance billing for January and third-party taxes, $425,393.20. Those are the claims.
I'll make a motion to approve those claims.
All second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Moving right along, department reports. If we follow our sequential order here, we have the animal service, veterans. Do we have any department heads here to report tonight? Health department. Well, let's not jump order here, but looks like highway. Okay. Maybe veterans, weights and measures. Stop me if we have some on highway. Anything from highway tonight?
I got a report later, so Brant's here.
Okay. Health department.
Hello.
Nice to meet you all. I'm Diane Hornby, and I'm the administrator and the public health nurse there at the health department. So, we've been super busy, and that's why you've not seen a lot of me. I gave you some of our numbers there. We have, I kind of give you a chart for the COVID stuff. We have had a total of 3,873 cases of COVID in the county. And on that, if you look average per day, November was by far our busiest month. We had 1,073 cases with 35.77 average cases per day. And as of January, we were down to 811 cases for the month and 26 cases per day. So that was our average. So with that, we are still trying to contact everybody that's positive. So my staff and I are calling people to explain to them, you know, about their quarantine, answer any questions they have related to the COVID. A lot of people choose not to respond to our calls, but we do try to contact everybody that is positive. And then the deaths, we have had 79 deaths that COVID was on the death certificate. And November had 32 and December 28, and then we went down to 5 in January. And I think that shows a big thing with that is we were starting to vaccinate our elderly, and the biggest risk factor for death is if you're older. And so we hope that that continues to be very low, because we've been working really hard to get all our elderly vaccinated between ourselves and the hospitals, the local hospitals. So as you know, we went down to 65 and over as of this week. And so we will have a vaccine clinic tomorrow. We try to book between 300 and 400 on our clinic days that we go. And we will increase that as our supply goes up. However, you know, we can only give as much vaccine as they send us. We were sent in the month of January, we were sent 1,000 doses, and we gave 960 of those doses in January. And so, and then the other 40, you know, you have people that were booked, especially with the snow, and we had several not show up, and we can't open a vial unless we can give all 10. So it's not like you could just have somebody come in and, you know, give a few doses here or there. So that's a little bit of trouble, you know, when we're trying to schedule them. The state has came up with a program that we have to use to schedule. And so that's why it's through that ourshot.in.gov. And so we have to go through the same site that everybody else does to schedule. And so it's hard for us to schedule for people because it may take us 25 minutes to schedule that person. Also, that wait time can apply to us at times too. So I think that people will want to call us and have us schedule for them, and we can't always do that if we're on a wait time also, because I only have the 5 staff. So, you know, just be patient. I know it's hard to get through that ourshot.in.gov to sign up, but that's what we have to use at this time.
Sure.
So
I've heard from several seniors in our community that you guys have been very proactive and helpful in navigating the website and getting signed up. So, you know, many acclimates to your group, because I feel like you're reaching out there and trying to help some of the people that might be struggling with the technology. And I know for one, you know,
we try to.
that's pretty powerful when you get out there and help those people. I know they're very thankful and appreciative.
Yes, in our clinics, I welcome anyone to come out. We'll have a clinic tomorrow from 9 a.m. to 7. We book between 6 and 9 people every 10 minutes. And we have 2 nurses giving the vaccines, and then we have clerical people that, you know, enter the data for us and do the registration, and it works pretty good. So We will add more nurses as needed, but at this time, when we added the third nurse, the nurses were ahead of the clerical. Because you know, the data for all that is pretty,
Sure.
it takes a little while to do that. But, I've worked with Charlie Woodruff, and if our vaccine numbers go up to the point where we will get bigger, then we can move to the bigger building, the Toyota building, at any time, you know, unless he has something going on that day. But we'll work with him, and we can move to that bigger facility. However, at this time, this one works really well for us. So, it seems to be working out good. And we're just kind of at the mercy of how the vaccine comes in. We did get an increase this week to 500 doses, and that's, you know, so we will adjust our schedules accordingly. However, next week, we start giving our second doses. So we have to watch that we don't give more new doses, that we don't have enough for our second doses. So the logistics of that gets a little complicated, but we're trying to work through it. We're just doing the best we can with it, but it's been super, super busy at the office. And, I want to thank everyone who was part of allowing us to get a new phone system, because up until today, we've been working on 2 phone lines. And so anybody that tries to call us knows that our phone is constantly busy. And so we did get the new phone system, some of the money, the CARES money. And we actually have an adaptation where we can use our fax machine as a phone line for us to call out and stuff now too. So I'm hoping that'll help. And of course, like anything else, it's a learning curve, so it'll take us a little bit to get it all figured out, but hopefully that'll work out. And so, other than that, you can look at the numbers of other things. We do close the office on Wednesdays right now because it's taking all the staff to go to the vaccine clinic site. So on Wednesdays, the health department, for now, until we, you know, get caught up with these vaccines, we will be closed on Wednesdays at the health department. But if you look, we still are giving vaccines, doing lots of a lot of the calls related to the COVID stuff, obviously. And, you know, the septic systems have been fairly busy. And then we also do all the food inspections. And of course, we have lots of food complaints right now because of people not wearing their masks. And we try to follow up on that as best we can. So that's pretty much it, I think.
Diane, do you guys, I know down in Evansville, they have like a call list.
Yes.
Like what you said with the valves, you know, that they can call somebody, they have to be able to get to you in like a certain amount of time, half an hour, or whatever it is. Do you guys have one of those too?
Yes.
I figured you did, but.
Yeah. They ask that we keep anybody on it right now that's 60 or over with underlying health conditions. But you know, when it gets, especially like last week when it was snowing, you know, once you open that 10-dose file, you got to get it all.
Yeah.
And so you don't really know where you're at until about 20, 30 minutes for the end of the day, you know, because you were booking 6 every 10 minutes. So, you know what I mean? You don't know where you're at until the end of the day. So, but we've not wasted 1 dose, not one, so.
Well, I just know a couple of people that have been on the list and got called down to Evansville.
Yes. Yeah, and I think too, you know, they're doing it every day, well, we're doing it 1 day a week.
Right.
And we will probably stay 1 day a week just simply because we have so much other stuff to do, and we have the positive cases to follow up with, that as long as we can get it all given that day, and if we can't, we'll jump on to Friday and set up a clinic on Friday and give more.
That's a long day.
Yeah, it makes a long day.
Where?
Diane,
Uh-huh.
what's that website again?
Our, OUR, shot.in.gov.
OUR shot.
.in.gov. Mhm. And anybody 65 and over can sign up if they
On
have.
this website?
211 will assist you. 211, it's
Telephone, like 911, only it's 211.
Okay.
it's like a service agency. call line. And then, the Council on Aging has people that are lined up to help. Also, all the local libraries are helping people sign up.
And you said you had a clinic tomorrow,
Mhm.
at 9 to 7.
Uh-huh.
Is that walk-in, or you got an appointment?
You always have to have an appointment, because we only have a certain amount of vaccine that ships to us every week. And we try to set up all the appointments so that vaccine goes out that week.
And you said at the end of the day, that you can't go down to 60 or something?
And that is, but that's gonna be the last 10 doses we give. So it's only a
Sign up
few,
for that.
yes, we have a sign up for that too. We keep a running sign up sheet for that.
Thank you.
And we've used it. I mean, it never fails. You'll be at the end and you'll have 1 or 2 doses used out of that last bottle, and then you gotta come up with 8 people at the end of the day. So most of the time, that day ends at about 8 or 9 o'clock for me, because I'm the one who goes out and gives that vaccine, so, but that's okay. We're gonna get through it, and it's not gonna go on forever.
So how long wait time is it, and where do you go? Where is your clinic at?
It's at the fairgrounds, and we're in the north building down by the livestock.
The 4-H building.
The 4-H building, yes, And, basically, we book every 10 minutes and we run them through. There's really not a lot of people waiting. They will be going through their process of filling out their paperwork. And then they go to the nurse to get their shot. And then we have a waiting area where they need to wait 15 minutes. So it will take you about 30 minutes to get through there. But as far as getting there and sitting without being taken care of, it's not but a matter of 5 or 10 minutes at the most is what we're seeing.
And how far behind are you on, how do you sign up? Is it like that week or something?
Right now, I think the first available, I think we still had a few of them for today. But the state only lets us book as much vaccine as they have, and they have to save some of that back for second doses. So, they're controlling the logistics of it through that program. That's one of the reasons we have to go through that program to set up our shots, is so that we don't end up with people at our clinic and not have vaccine for them and have their second shot available too. So that's why it's done that way. Okay?
Very good, thanks, Diane.
If you have any questions, feel free to call us, 385-3831.
Yeah, be busy.
And
Yeah, it'll be busy.
It's crossed around busy.
We're trying to be patient. Again, we have 5 staff, at the health department. And so I can't say enough for my staff, because my sanitation people, my food service people, they've all did all other jobs as assigned, so that we really work together as a group to get everything done.
Yeah, I feel like we have an outstanding, health department team, and you guys are in the trenches during this, health warfare, if you will. And we greatly appreciate all that you're doing and the lives that you're saving, so thank you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, and we, kind of more at the beginning, but we used to get phone calls. Well, I've been trying to get through the health department, is there a line open? No, sorry, they're just that busy.
Yeah.
Okay, I said, no, can't do it, I'm sorry, you'll have to make your own phone call.
We're hoping.
It's hard, I know.
Yeah, we're hoping that, and it does seem like in the last week or two that our numbers are going down. And that is all the more, I can't stress it enough how much I believe in the vaccine. I would take the vaccine every week to prove to people it's safe. You know what I mean? I have no fears of vaccine. I've given vaccine for 35 years of my nursing career. I don't see problems with it. If you look at the long-term effects that you can have from COVID, even if you didn't get horribly ill with the infection originally, there can be some long-term effects. And so I can't stress it enough for us as a community to move forward, the importance of getting your vaccine.
Well, I think we need to remind people, as we're all sitting here with our faces half covered. I'm a little shocked when somebody will go, are you Mary Keene? And you're like, how could you fail? I don't know who you are, But, keep wearing masks, because it does make a great difference.
Yes.
And we've proven it. And I know there's a lot of people that,
It's kind of an inconvenience, but you get used to it.
you know, well, the thing is I got so used to it, because I used to always laugh about people that had it on when they were in their car by themselves. And I'll walk out of the building and get in the car, and it's like, I'm hot, and it's like, oh, take your mask off. Well, my grandson goes, where's your mask? Yeah, so, yeah, but, you know, just because we're getting the shots, and we do have people that, you know, hopefully have the immunity, or at least lessens it, it's still there, and there's still a lot of people that have not, and do not have the ability to do it. So we need that, we need to remember to stay on top.
Yeah.
Amen. Amen. But let's keep this community healthy. Do our part. I appreciate that input, Mary. That's good. Diane, anything else?
I don't think so.
EMA?
We've been in this since last year, and gradually I'm receiving requests from local departments about personal protection equipment. We're starting to issue out masks, materials that they've used up over the period, and there's a lot of vendors out there. The vendors are multiple. The prices are very high, but most of the stuff that we're getting is either here that we've had stockpiled or comes from the state stockpile. Most of the requests that I receive, I'm able to put in a requisition, and we get what we can and have that either stockpiled here or issued out. Fire and police, we've issued stuff out to fire departments. The sheriff's department needed more masks last week. Our court system's on hold basically for right now, so that's limiting the number of people that are coming in there. But so far we're being able to provide that. The one thing that has helped us is we in the District 10 concept down here, if I need it quickly, I can go to another county and we're exchanging this stuff. So we're trying to help this gal out as much as we can. My deputy director is working out there on Wednesdays with the vaccine to help with the clerical. And it's not something I don't look for it to go away, for a good while. But what we have, we're giving out, and we're trying to get back what we can to do that. And trying to save the county money by getting it from the state, because I get it for nothing up there. I just got to go get it. And we can utilize a lot of money buying from vendors, but the prices are so high that, when you get it free from the state, we'll do that later. That's basically about it. The COVID funding money, that is now in the hands of the council, and we'll discuss that at another time, but we still have that funding available for purposes to use.
There is one thing I would like to add, sorry. We do have the testing site also, which runs in that same building. We just clean it really good on Tuesday nights, but the testing site is run through the health department also. And we have staff hired that is managing that site. And we have rapid tests out there, which you can get testing results in 15 minutes. So it took us a while to get that process all worked out, but it's going really smoothly now to do that rapid test. And if you're not having any symptoms, that test isn't as accurate. And so you might want to go ahead and do the PCR test following that if it's negative, but at least gives us that quick response for those people that are positive to get them in quarantine. So that was a process, getting that testing site up and going and getting those rapid tests. But we are up and running very well with that now, so.
Well, that could be a very good resource for people of all ages. I know like with the sports programs, they're of course limited right now, but some of these kids are, losing part of their seasons and whatnot, and a lot of parents will want to get them tested as soon as they can. So the rapid test could be a good resource for them and also for our seniors and.
We're seeing a lot of it used for our working citizens too, to help them get back to work. If you're a critical infrastructure and you are close contact, if you have a negative test, you can go back to work as long as you know, wear your mask and social distance. So that's been a definite plus, because when we had the 2 and 3 day turnaround, they were out of work for that whole time. You know, we're this way, we can get them back to work fairly quickly. So that's been a real plus for the community, I feel like.
Call that phone number to get their activities come in.
No, it is at our testing site. I'll have to get you that number. She's probably got it. You got the testing site number? It's 1766, I think.
Yeah. I don't have here.
I can get it for you. It's right above my, on my wall at the office, like, I think it's 1766.
Is that just a walk-in test?
Yes, you can do walk-in for that.
Yeah, that's just a walk-in test there.
Yeah, you don't have to have an appointment for that one.
And the rapid test, is that a drive-through type test?
No, we had to come in the building.
Okay.
We don't do any drive-through just simply because we wasn't really set up for it.
Sure.
And by the time we got all this up and running, as we're looking at November, December. Now, if we go back into the spring, we may look at the, you know, having some drive-through with that, but, it's really difficult to do some of that when the weather is so bad,
Sure.
you know.
A little cold.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to have sit out a couple days.
Diane, are you finished?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Okay, you're fine. We appreciate the information. Floodplain, do we have anyone here?
No, she's not.
EMS?
Okay, I just wanted to kind of update you guys, the contract that we had talked to you about the collection agency, that has been signed, and which I think you guys know, and, we haven't started sending anything to them, but hopefully, you know, here in a little bit, we'll be able to start sending, past due things to them that's been over the last year, and hopefully get a little more money coming in. So, you have any questions on that?
No, sir.
Okay. The other thing I was wanting to talk to you about is about possibly getting another ambulance. And the reason I was wanting to talk to you about it is right now we've got 3 really good ambulances. One in Oakland City, one in Fort Ranch, and one now that we're getting ready to put in Homestead. The one in Princeton, we've had multiple issues with it ever since we got it. And it's not got any better, it's only gotten worse, and it's the most undependable unit pretty much we have right now. But we're still, you know, needing to run out of it. It's got about 136,000 miles on it right now. The chassis is a 2017, but the box on it's a 2007. It was a remount. The box was put on this, and when they remounted it, there were a lot of issues that they did not take care of correctly. Also, the air conditioning unit in is not good at all. Whenever summer gets here, last couple of years that they've used it, they've had a lot of problems with being able to keep the back cool enough to, you know, they come out of it, the patient's sweating and the staff sweating really bad because they just will not cool. And they have had it looked at numerous times. They even, where we normally take it, which is 64 garage, to have the maintenance work done on it. They got to where they just have somebody else come in that knows wiring, and it's, I think, in Mid-America that comes in, but they've had nothing but trouble. I mean, it just wasn't put together right. And like I said, it's been, and there's a lot of other issues with it, but I'd like to see if I can get you blessing more or less to start looking into, just check and see what's out there. I know I have to go to the council and talk to the council about it. I was wanting to see if I could get your blessing on at least looking for something else, because this one here is, you know, since I'm, you know, I'm in charge of trying to make sure we got a good service for the county, you know, the people, I'd like to just, you know, explain, I've got a real concern with this unit, and I'd like to see if there's something we can do to upgrade that unit in the next little bit.
Do you think most of the problem is electrical?
There's electrical issues, they've been having trouble, a lot of noise coming from the transmission too. They just had, I mean, it's just been numerous things. I wish I could tell you it's one thing, but I think the thing was not put together right, and it has, over time, has just collectively caused problems. And, you know, I know I was talking to, Scott Turpin, and he said when they first got it, he said he looked at it, and he said that was just a nightmare for wire. And it's been an issue ever since we've had it. And even though they keep trying to fix it, I don't know that it's really that fixable. And the air conditioning too there's something wrong there too, and they have tried in different places to fix it, and it's just not fit. I think we just got a unit, it's just not gonna be, we'd be better off if we could cut our.
Did Turpin, did he act like, he was having trouble finding a solution to it too? I mean, I know he's looked at it on numerous occasions, but
Yeah.
is he shaking his head too, or?
Yeah, he just basically told me, you know, he said if we can find something else, we need to try to find something else, because that, the wiring and everything, like I said, just been a nightmare. Like I said, he just gave up working on it. And he had somebody else coming in doing the wiring on it whenever, you know, but it's just been a problem from start to finish, and it's, you ever notice there's a red, white, and blue one sitting out there chirping so loud? Of course, there are several that's red, white, and blue now, but if you notice it's got a van in front, most likely it's that unit.
I know what you're talking about, yeah.
Yeah, and it's out there more than I'd like to think, and so
I made a few calls on that, and correct me if I'm wrong, but that box, the back portion of it, the box, it was retrofitted on that chassis, and that's why they had some different wiring issues from the get-go, whether it be ground or what. It's just been a nightmare, and now get straightened out.
yeah, and
I
that,
get one thing fixed and everything goes awry.
and like I said, I was just talking to one of the crew members today, and they could hear a lot of noises in there, and he really knows vehicles fairly well, and he said they've had trouble with the transmission already, and he's sure it's probably coming from there again. So I'm just, like I said, I'm real concerned. This unit is the most heavily used unit because of the population of the Princeton, Potomac Township area and White River. You know, that they cover that area, and it's the most heavily used, and I'm just afraid what's gonna happen when summer gets here between, you know, the heat and everything else and all.
Are all of our cabs diesel?
No. We've got, that one's gas. I think it's a V10 from what I've been told by Scott. But it's a gas hog too. But anyway, though, it's a V10, and the diesels that we've got right now, we've got a diesel, which is a Duramax over in Oakland City. We got one that we just got, which is a Power Stroke, a 6.7 Power Stroke, that's gonna be going to Owensville. The one that's down in Fort Branch, that's a gas. And, it's, you know, we've got three that's relatively not that many years old, that is not that bad. The oldest one we got, other than this out here, is the Duramax over in, Oakland City. But it's a diesel. We've had no trouble with it. If we could get basically one more, we would have good units for several years to come. And the other thing is, I believe that if we could go to a diesel, right now we have issues, you know, the gas ones that we've got, they burn a lot of gas, and you can make a couple trips to Prince or Evansville, and you know, you get back or coming back, you get another run, then you've got a problem. So I'd like to change them to diesel, which is what I'd rather see, because we can give you just for instance, we can go from Princeton to Indianapolis with the gas. We've got to fill up before we come back. The diesels, we can go up there and come back, and you know, still have fuel left. So, but anyway, the biggest thing, my biggest concern is the condition of this vehicle and where it's going, especially when summer hits. It's a lot of stress on the patients and the people that works in the back of that thing, because they have tried to get that thing fixed time after time. I don't know where all the problems are. They've tried several different things, solutions, and they've not got anywhere.
Well, just speaking for myself only here, but I like a diesel because, you know, they're so much tougher, and typically you get a lot more mileage out of them. I realize that there's a cost difference too. I know you're gonna pay a little more for a diesel most of the time, quite a bit more. And Yeah, those are just my thoughts. Fellow commissioners, do you have any thoughts on,
I say we can start looking into it, because we're gonna have something people depend on. And if we don't have something that runs, we're gonna have some problems.
Well, it takes a while to find anything.
Yeah.
And it also needs the opportunity to possibly find some outside financing, and that such as, you know, possible grants or this type of thing. It's a long process. So, you know, I don't see anything wrong about searching both.
Okay.
You know, for money and a vehicle, just be proactive on it.
Okay.
Because, I mean, even if you can find one, sometimes it's 6 months or better before you can even get it.
Yeah, and I realize what you're talking about, but even like the last one, they ordered it, took several months. By the time, you know, it ordered until it was, you know, everything was done.
And as we all know with what's going on, there are certain parts that are hard to get a hold of.
Sure.
Right, John? We've been waiting 4 months for the speakers for our, to be able to do our Zoom meetings, get the better equipment. And, but I know also with vehicles, it's the same way. And so I don't have a problem with looking.
Okay, well, appreciate it, because like I said, you know, since I'm charged with making sure the service, you know, is running efficiently and as well as it can, I just, you know, I've got to bring my concerns to you guys whenever I've got, you know, and this is probably my biggest concern right now, other than just keeping everybody safe and composed.
Mary has me thinking when she mentioned grants. Terry, I'm gonna lean on you a little bit. Have you seen anything come across your desk about, emergency service grants for vehicles or anything a guy might be able to write that would allow us to, get some funds?
Well,
You don't have to answer it now, maybe we just look into it.
Yeah, we've been talking about this, so we'll see what we can do.
Appreciate it, appreciate it.
Any questions for me?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Sheriff Boggs?
I got just a few things. First thing, if you give you a copy of the money that we collected for the month of January, each one of you have a copy, and I also have a copy that was given to auditor. Our jail population for the month of January, daily average was 102. Our population today was 98. That includes 81 males and 17 females. And we're housing 83 in the jail itself, and we're having 15 in the work release building right now. A couple other things that we have. We've got some issues with some doors over there that are going to have to be looked into. I don't want to discuss them here in the room, but I'll talk to you afterwards about them. We have a water softener over there that's not working. It's apparently not been working for a little bit, and if we don't probably get it fixed or replaced, it's going to start causing problems throughout the building. And apparently the company that put it in is no longer in business. So we contacted Culligan and asked him just go ahead and start checking into it, and asked him to come up and look at it and see what they thought they could do, or what needs to be fixed, or if it can be fixed or whatever. And they're going to go back and look and see what they can come up with. And we also found a phone number for the actual company that built it. So we're going to try to make contact with them. They're not in this area. And see if they can give us or Culligan or somebody some advice on how to get this thing fixed, or if we're going to have to replace it or whatever. And also at our community corrections building, I wanted to pass on that we're having some issues with the mixing meter and wash faucets. And we're going to have to probably get 10 of those replaced. And I've provided you guys a copy of there, shows what it would take to purchase either 4 or the full 10. And buy a minimum of the 10, the price is just a little bit cheaper.
Tim, I noticed on, here are my papers up here, on these, quotes and that, I take it the 4 would be your total minimum that you would need to have at least. And 10 is what you really need.
Yes. I guess there's like 2 in each day room, or each room, and he has already replaced 2 of them. We could use at least 4 to replace 1 in each of the other rooms, or we could go ahead and get the 10 and have them all.
At the moment. That's what I figured, I just wanted to clarify.
Yes. He got a price, like I said, for each one and, that you have in front of you, but this does not include any labor.
Right.
It's a lot cheaper to go with the 10 than it is just the 4.
Yeah, it says on the one that shows 10, it says pricing is for a minimum of 10.
Yeah.
So the price is cheaper to order the 10 than the 4.
Would they do the, installing, they would do the labor, or this is just the parts person?
The price that you see there is just the
Yeah,
price.
but I mean, does this company do the installing?
Yes,
or-
yes.
Okay. So do you have any guesstimation on what it would cost to do labor on it?
We're just guessing maybe 2 to 3 hours for each sink, and we don't know the exact, labor price, but somewhere around $80, $85 an hour.
Okay.
That's just an estimate.
Right.
We use this company all the time, but I don't have no idea. We don't have an actual contract with them
Right.
on what their rate is.
Well, that's the apartment industry cost.
Probably getting in the neighborhood about $5,000, by the time it's all said and done. Maybe a little less.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I can't honestly.
Is it your request to have all 10 of them? Is that your preference?
I'm sorry.
Is your request for 10 then?
If they can, I mean, that's up to the commissioner. They're responsible for the building, so.
But that's what you would prefer?
Yes.
That's what you ask? You guys want to vote on that?
Well, but the price of the 10,
All right.
Well, I don't have a problem with the 10, just a quick calculation on basics and that, probably, somewhere between 5,000 and 6,000 should take care of, the labor and the cost of the faucets themselves. I mean, that's a hump chunk out of your budget, but, I agree. If we're gonna fix it, let's fix it.
Mary, would you recommend, would you recommend putting a not to exceed on it, or?
Well, but we don't know the labor is the problem. I mean, that's just a good, fair guesstimate. I would hate to do that.
right?
And we're sitting there with 2 faucets that can't go in or something. I don't think that's quite right. But I mean, I think that 85 an hour, and they just had a couple replaced, so they must know it's about 2 or 3 hours per. So, you do it that way. Yeah, I think we'll probably come in about that somewhere. But I hate to put a limit on it.
Sure.
Because okay, we buy 10 faucets, but we only have enough money on labor to put in 5 of them. So, I don't think it's gonna be that bad. I think we're close enough.
Mr. Spinner, any thoughts for put this in motion on not to exceed, or you?
I'm good with, just, you get a relationship with them, they've done work for you, so.
Oh, yeah. We use them all the time, and it's just.
So I would recommend a motion to approve the purchase of 10 and the installation with the same company that quoted the materials.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Okay. Got a motion and you want me to handle it?
Go ahead.
A motion and a second on the floor, all in favor, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
Thanks, sir. That's all I got.
Thank you, Sheriff. Extension, I'm just going down through the list here.
Nobody's here.
Okay, Park Board,
Normally I give the park board, information, but, I want to introduce Will Niederhouse. He's the new president of the park board. I think he's going to try to come once a month or whenever, kind of, give a, update on what they've got going on out there at the park and have a little presence at the meetings. So if Will want to kind of introduce yourself on who you are and.
Yeah, Will Niederhouse, I'm sure you've all heard that name before. Not me, but my dad.
Well, and if you're gonna try chasing down, don't even think about it.
Yeah, he's still going in. But anyway, I teach out at the middle school and they just voted me on to be the president of the park board out there. And we're working on getting a pond put in this summer with our IDNR grant. We have until September 21st to get that done before that IDNR grant is expired. So we need to handle some things on that. But we have those in motion, the plan in motion. We just need to bid out some contracts. But we're kind of at a standstill right now until, not to put him on the spot, but until Matt can bid those contracts out. I come to you guys just to maybe ask for some time for Matt to sit down and get those done, just to, so we can get going on these bids. Do what? Yeah.
I'm gonna duck when you throw something.
Yeah.
Don't try to give you a warning.
We're looking to bid, February 9th. We're wanting to advertise bids and close bidding by February 16th. So that's, next week we're rolling on this thing. And, wanting to award the bid by March 2nd. So, I mean, we're trying to roll on this thing here, but obviously that needs a little bit of time too. I hate saying that because I feel like I'm the middleman. I'm just trying to bring everything to the table here. So that is all I have. Other than that,
Report on the rock that was purchased.
we did. We're trying to just make moves and get momentum out there. We bought, about $22,000 worth of rock. What was the ton? 1,300 tons. So we're gonna put in a mile trail out there. There was already an existing trail that was overgrown, had mulch, doesn't look good. Now we're putting in small gravel, and we're working on getting that. We're working on finding somebody to lay that for us, so we can have a nice trail out there. And then the pond comes in, buddy, it's gonna be a nice park. We're heading that way. But again, we do need that time to get those grants done. And we don't want to lose $250,000. That's the amount of the grant, and it's gone after September 21st. So, as you know, government grants take some time. So we're not far from September 21st.
How long have you been on the park board?
2 years. This will be my second. Well, shoot. Yeah, 2 years January. And you have to put me in. So.
When's your next meeting?
Our next meeting is tomorrow. Yeah, so, Matt should be there, and I don't know if you guys will talk later, because I hate to tell you, but I got another meeting at 7 o'clock. I gotta get rolling, but I wanted to come say, hey, I don't know if any people come from the park board or not, but we're on board, and we're ready to make some moves, so just let me know if I'm doing a good job, not doing a good job, whatever we need to do, I'll be at these meetings, monthly, for sure.
Appreciate you coming, Will, and I know you've worked hard with Matt on projects out there, and we appreciate you putting in that work.
Well,
And, also being gullible like your dad, but take on some of this stuff.
whoa,
Well, when you said find somebody to spread the rock, I thought, oh, we should get a hold of that. But no, we appreciate all the help and work that you put in there and taking the presidency, because I know that's a lot on your shoulders. I
Yeah.
appreciate you doing it.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Is there anything else? I hate to run out on you guys, but I can't miss that.
We'll see what we can do with our engineer to allow him some time to work on this, because we realize, he has his hands in a lot of different projects right now.
Oh, man. More than more than I would like my hands to be, so.
Thank
Well, I
you.
appreciate it all. It was good.
That brings us right up to, soil and water, we first from earlier.
Well, we need to approve, advertisement for that bid.
It's later, it's on there later.
Gets everything done.
It's later on here, so we'll get to it, it's a new business, yeah.
Okay.
We haven't been down there, I believe.
I don't have an agenda in front of me, I've got to pick it up.
I'm sure mine, but I don't have one.
That's okay.
Yeah, you got it? Okay.
Please, yeah,
County engineer?
Yes, first one report on community crossings grant was submitted. It was due Friday, but I turned it in the first week, which is usually very, very beneficial to us. We're hoping to hear back in April, which is a little later than I think last year. Last one had, COVID, everything's running slower. So I need to get those bid documents together because as soon as it gets awarded, if we do get awarded, we need to be going out for bid immediately. So that way we can get that work done this summer. We need to get that done so that way we're eligible for next year. So that'll be a big one coming up in the near future. I'm really looking forward to it. I know the grant funding's been cut a little bit due to COVID, but I'm still hopeful that we get at least some money out of it. We applied for the $1 million max. Bridge 74 federal aid project. We started pre-design started. That's United Consulting doing that. They just started pre-design. It's a 2025 construction date, so not a lot, real hot and heavy going on right now. And then I do have quarterly meetings with NDOT on that. I have to make the quarterly meetings if we lose funding. That means tomorrow, this quarter. I-69, 64 sewer project, it's going well. We ran into some issues, had signed change order back in December. Bedrock in some places at 33 inches, so we couldn't directional bore that. We had to open cut it. They actually have that section done now, down 950. Pipes installed, they're doing pressure testing now. That project's supposed to be complete at substantial completion, the road back open, normal, March 8th, I believe. Don't hold me to it, but right the first week of March. So I'll be out there quite a bit because we're putting the road back together. Toyota Lot 4 project, that's a big one. Should start mobilization on that very quickly. We're working out some issues. We have one utility issue that I was kind of really aware of about an hour ago. But that project, scheduling wise, it looks like it's going to be a good one. I think the contractor's done about all they could to make it work, the timeline that's allotted. Anxious to see dirt start flying on that one because it's a big project. This time last year, I was putting out our county locally funded paving project. Our project's gonna be roughly $600,000. This time last year, I was putting it out for bid. I haven't started on it yet to get it out for bid. We need to be doing that because of getting on the contractor's list. And then our bridge replacement, we usually do, a larger bridge, which are, bridge replacements are anything greater than 20 feet. I need to be getting that done. That one, I think last year I put it out for bid in April, so I got a little time on that to get it ready. And it worked out pretty well because we didn't have any utility issues. I haven't even checked utility issues on this bridge yet. Give you an update on some NDOT stuff. On 41, there's construction going on. They're hoping to have it completed by July this year, and be out of there. They're actually ready for some concrete pours right now, but they got to wait on weather to be a certain temperature before they pour concrete. And then I actually talked to them about, got some people calling in asking about the J turns on 100 West and 41, where TBIN is. That project's going to be done in conjunction with the CSX overpass, which is like 3,500 feet south of there. They're going to redo the bridge deck on it like they're doing the other bridges north of there. They're going to do it at the same time because they're kind of a close vicinity. So the motion of traffic stuff kind of works well together. But it's a 2023 project, so we're 2 years out on that. So hopefully we don't have any major construction going on 41 around Princeton for a year and a half. Is what it's looking like. So Other than that, I got some other stuff coming up, but is there any questions for me?
Just for clarification, Matt, on the bridge 74, that's the Wheeling Bridge, right?
Yes, the one beside the Wheeling Covered Bridge is the federal aid project. It's a big one, it's a triple span bridge.
I just wanted to clarify something on the bridges, and I know right away becomes an issue and various other things, but, we have some pretty large equipment anymore that's used in agriculture, and some of our combines have gotten pretty wide. So it's just something to take into consideration when you're doing your planning, and I know you will anyway, but I wanted to.
Our current county specification on bridges is 24 foot. Everything I've built's been 26 width. The federal aid bridge is 30. So yeah, I've bumped up my width specifications. I think combines are 18 foot plus now. Larry can tell me that, but I think they're 18.6. That's how wide they're getting. So knowing that issue, every bridge that I've put in for design has been 26 foot clear width. So, and we've done some other things. I know 800 west, 800 east, that was a narrow bridge. I know Kenny's familiar with it, right by his house. We replaced the bridge deck on it in-house. I think it was 16 foot wide to start out with. And I think we got 21 out of it, not replacing the entire bridge, just replacing the deck and kind of getting creative with some engineering to make that work and be safe. And I've got another bridge I've looked at. It's down west of Hobstock that I haven't talked to anybody about yet. But we'll be not just on the bridge stuff, but box culverts, they're usually 2 months out. We're gonna do them this summer. I've got to get them figured out, get them designed, get them moving. We have replaced a lot of culverts. We've already actually had a culvert order be delivered this week from all the culverts being replaced, concentrating mostly on roads that we're gonna pave. And then, so that way they're replaced before we come and pave them. And then there's random other culverts we found that have failed that are being replaced also. So. Anything else?
Larry, just gonna ask you on that, like, what's some of your common heads? How wide are some of the heads you're using on your combines? 40 foot. 40 foot.
Yeah, they can't drive them down the road.
They're rolling trailer.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the ones you drive down bridges.
He doesn't have any of those anymore.
Maybe you just take the head off.
Yep, they take the heads off.
Yeah.
Yep.
Trailer.
Put them on trailer and move to the next field. It'd be hard to get a 40-foot bridge and 30-footer right away, that's for sure. So
18 foot's about as wide as they go along, just.
that's outside tire, I think that's what I've been told. They'll slide by, yeah.
Well, I like what you're doing now. I want to keep them as wide as we can for our equipment.
Yes.
We're an agrarian community, so we need to make sure we take care of the farmers.
My kind of hopes are 26 foot wide, the road width becomes functionally obsolete to where they can't get down the roads if they gotta be wider than 26 foot. So,
Thank you, Matt.
thank you.
On the list here, what?
Hey, Warren, I would like to make one comment since you asked.
Go ahead.
But these county roads, when you pave them, like County Road 550 out there, concrete boxes are 24 feet wide. And when they when 550 south 168 was paved, 5 or 6 years ago, I was right there and I stopped and I asked the guy that was paving how wide he was gonna make it, and he said 19.5 feet. I can't get 2 semis passing without getting mirrored on that width, so keep that in mind when you're paving roads.
Well, if you want to widen it, you double the cost doubles the widen if you want to, so you're going to do half the widening. And, a lot of people say you're paving a road, building a new road. All we're doing is preventative maintenance on most of our roads. 1.5-inch overlay or 3-inch overlay is not building a new road. 3 inches of asphalt on top of dirt,
Right.
not going to hold up semis.
Right.
So now you're digging both sides of the road to be able to widen. We did widen down at Hain Plastics one year. We did the widening down there through a TIP project.
So they actually brought the pavement in, probably 1.5 feet on each side.
I won't want that to happen. We go back at least the width that's there. Dead level road, we're in some issues. I got with the township guy out there and said, we can pave a little grass and at least make it 16 foot wide. And there's places it's 14. And do the foot each side, pave the grass. And I said, if you're asked township guy, he was willing to maintain the edge breaking off in locations, I would make it wider. And I'm gonna say it's 50-50 shot. About half of what we've done, trying to widen just 3 inches of asphalt has broke off, half of it stayed intact. But once it's there, the township guys are pretty happy with, them feeling safer even driving dump trucks, throughout all the township, throughout the county. And most of them have, yeah, if it breaks off, we'll maintain it, we'll fix it, might have to dig it up and have to do some work. But we have done some widening that's not what I call conventional widening, knowing it was gonna be a 50-50 shot on it holding up very long.
And I like your approach. You're maintaining integrity of the width. You're not decreasing the width. You are maintaining, or maybe in some cases, potentially expanding. So that's the approach.
And you maintain the width.
Yes.
The
I'm
shouldering,
not saying go out the road ditch, but not over.
the shouldering has really,
It just got cost.
putting the shoulder stone down, I think has really helped a lot with this too, because it gives you it makes the road feel wider at least. You don't feel like if you're on the edge and there's a 6-inch drop off, you're not scared of that edge. And if you put that shoulder stone down, if you do get off the road, it's not gonna pull you off the road into the ditch. You now have I try to shoot for 6-inch shoulders. Now we're starting, a lot of places we're shoving a bunch of rocks and ditches too. But the shouldering, I think, has really helped with this issue. And then if the trucks are on the edge and they get off the edge, then with that stone being there, it helps kind of distribute the load and don't break the edges off so bad. So I think the shouldering is probably going to be more, that was not done prior to me. Shoulder stone was not. I feel that's been a very big positive in the last couple of years. So.
Do we have anyone here from Parish? This is the aforementioned Gibson County Public Defender Board 2020 report. We've reviewed the report.
Yes, I've seen it, looked at, yeah.
That's all we have to do is acknowledge it, but let me know if we
Yeah,
can do
that's
anything
all,
more.
no, that's all we have to do.
Okay.
It's like the treasurer's report and clerk's report. It's just new to us because we get the public defender office is just created.
Moving along to Commissioner's old business, we have some APC appointments to make. And I've reached out to two gentlemen I thought might enjoy it and be good members. One of them is in attendance this evening. His name is Cecil Bob Allen. He's a former county council member, and he's also been very active in politics in our county. One interesting fact is that he was born and raised in Gibson County, so he's homegrown and loves his county. But Cecil Bob, you're here tonight. If you have anything else you want to elaborate on, you're welcome to. If you're I'm good. I'd like to nominate him, and I'd also like to nominate Marty Martinette. He's another one that's a lifelong resident of Gibson County. He's a member, outstanding member of our JCs. He's a state senator of the JCs organization. He's a lifelong farmer in Gibson County. His family's raised a lot of cattle in our county. Some of you may know him as he's son to the former Gibson County Commissioner Cheryl Martinette. But he too loves our county, and I think both of them would work very hard to represent, especially our land usage rights and their love for our county as representatives. So I would make a motion that we appoint Cecil Bob Allen and Marty Martinette as our APC members.
So we have two nominations on the floor before we go to a vote. Are there any other nominations for the two vacancies on the ABC?
Actually, I just have one,
Okay.
and that's April Reaper. She's on there now, been through every bit of this business. And I hate the thought of losing her knowledge on all of this. No learning curve on her part. And so I would like to nominate April Reaper.
Okay. Are there any other nominations? Hearing none, we will vote on these in the order presented. So I would
ask for a vote on appointing Cecil Bob Allen to the ABC. All in favor of appointing him indicate by saying aye.
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 Opposed? The ayes have it. Next is Marty Martinette. All in favor of his nomination indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Nay?
Nay.
The ayes have it. And with that, I will skip April Graver since we got the two appointees.
Next up on our agenda is an amendment to the Rogers Group 2021 approved rock bid. Matt, do you have anything?
Yeah, since Brant's not here, this year we get the annual rock bids approved, Rogers and Mausers, both, depending on, some of them had lower prices on some rocks, some on others, some had better availability, quality. Normally, Rogers gives us a price for us to pick up rock out of their Knox County yard, south of Vincennes. This year, they quoted it out of the quarry in Mitchell. We'll never drive to the quarry to get rock. So we asked them to do an amendment to their bid, and include the Knox pit, the Knox yard. The reason we like this is because White River Township and Washington Township, those two up there, when they're up in the northern side of the county, it's closer for them to go up there to get rock instead of coming all the way back to the yard. And actually, it's cheaper for us to go up there and do that too on price per ton. I'm gonna double check it, just make sure. Yeah, that one's almost $5 a ton cheaper. $4, fives. I want to make sure I wrote this down right. Yeah, it's actually cheaper to go up and do it. So it's quicker and cheaper, just for the very north side of the county. I asked the guys kind of how much rock they were talking, and they're looking at 60 loads a year is all they get up there. It's not a big quantity. The reason that we really push for this is if it's a big flood zone area up there. If we have a road wash out and we need to get quite a bit of rock to get a road back open or do something, it makes sense to go to the closest place to get it. It even really makes sense when it's cheaper to do it that way. So I'm just asking the commissioners to approve this amendment to the Rogers Group bid. And all it is another location that we can get rock from. We do the same thing with Mausers Yard down in Griffin. Down southern part of the county, we'll send the guys down there to pick up rock because of timing. So they included everything that they have on site there, which is 2s, 11s, 53s, NDOT 12s, Gabion riprap, revetment riprap, and number 5 stone. So that's all the kind of stones we won't be able to buy anything else from up there, just what they quoted on this amendment. So I'd ask that this be approved. So when necessary, it can be used.
I'll make a motion to approve that amendment. We've done that for years. And it saves a whole lot of time when you're up in that territory. It's hard enough getting in and out of territory without having to cross the county to do anything else.
I second that. Well, those are White River Townships, I know.
Yeah.
We have a motion and a second on the floor. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I do have that for you to sign, so I can take it back and get it over to them. So after the meeting, I'll take care of it.
Okay, appreciate it. Gibson County Detention Center update. We have with us this evening our owner's representative, Byron Sanders. Mr. Sanders?
Yes, I'm Byron Sanders, and I apologize for not being able to make the last meeting when I was given the confidence of trying to get you through these next 6 weeks of tasks of what we call pre-design services. 2 main tasks that were part of this assignment had been to get us back in good graces with the courts regarding the contract and settlement agreement, and then a selection process. As soon as I came on board, I contacted Karen Pollock, who is our attorney, and explained her circumstances and told her our need to ask for extension. Karen, we've had a lot of dialogue and what was the circumstances, and I provided her a follow-up formal report that explained everything to her. Then Karen took, and I gave her a revised schedule. Karen took that information and she filed her progress report with federal courts on January the 25th, which was a requirement for I did follow up, talked to Karen, and she said that she felt we were in good shape as long as there's no more further delays. So we really can't take our foot off the pedal, but we are moving along. I think we've got a project that's very viably can be accomplished in about 2.5 years, and I think there are some things we can do to even shorten that, but until we get architect on board, contractors on board, can't make promises for somebody we don't have existing yet. The other big task that we've had in front of us was the AD selection. So the first thing I did was we've got input from the council and commissioners and such, and we identified 6 architectural engineering firms. We went through a pre-qualification analysis to make sure they were qualified, and we talked to different references, and I talked to each one of the firms, and then we sent out to the firms, again, kind of a screening process for further qualifications, request for statement of qualifications, and I provided a questionnaire that hit all the points that we felt we needed. I had a committee that looked over those questions to make sure, is there anything we need to ask these guys to get them down to 2 or 3. And so we went through that process, been a very, very positive response. We've got responses from everyone, 9 proposals, very good proposals from each of the firms. We have a selection criteria that were going to be critical to us. I mean, most of these firms have got a lot of great jail experience. Some of them are a little larger, some of them are different profiles of how they build jails. We need an architectural engineering firm that can do a project that will be taking an existing site, and what can we do with that first that has new construction and renovation in their background, and they can give us some good advice on how to make that expedited. So we've got their responses, and we give them to the selection committee that I was given the names of, and we've just about got that finalized. Our goal is to have that finalized by the end of the week and announce our finalists, 2 or 3, by the end of the week. Then we'll go out with an RFP, a request for proposal, and really get down to the nuts and bolts of what would be in their agreement once they would want to make a proposal to us, from what's their fee, what's their services, and on down through what we've included in each of these phases. So that is where we are, and there'll be more activity. It's going pretty fast, but I'll be more than happy to come back and keep you apprised of the progress of the project at any time. And we are hoping to have our AE firm selected by the 1st of March, and that will be on schedule. That will be 6 weeks. And after that, we'll go to the next phases. I've submitted a total project schedule, a detailed project schedule to Karen Pollock that she now has in her document files of when we'll finish the project. And it's been broken down to the next steps of schematic design, design development, construction bid documents development, bid the project, and then we're allowing about 1.5 years for construction. And we're going to look at maybe segmented some of the critical things that are in front of us. For example, would be getting in the ground before winter gets here. And I've got about 12 months in the schedule to get where we can award that contract, but we might be able to, this is an idea here, we might be able to break out the site work earlier in the bid package to get the site work done in the warmer weather, get the concrete in place, and then as we go into the winter, then we can start coming out of the ground. But we're going to look at different options, different ideas and strategies to fast track the project, but not compromise any quality whatsoever. We want to make this, I appreciate Sheriff Bottoms gave me a great tour of the facility, and I want to give him confidence. He's got every square inch of that jail maximized and used to its fullest extent. He does. I said, I think if he took that out on the street, all that stuff out on the street, I don't think anybody can get it back in there like he's got it in. So very confident that he's doing what you're doing, and look forward to completing the jail. Any questions that you might have, you have to be more than welcome to offer.
I think the biggest concern I've had all along, and you've already heard this from me, is that we try to really keep change orders at a minimal or non-existent, because that's what hurts you sometimes on these construction projects is the change orders. I once heard from a construction manager, one of the best things you can do is ask your architects, okay, now if you're looking at this drawing, you're designing it, are you willing to put your paycheck on the line?
Exactly.
If we have to make a change to the construction process? Well, essentially that makes their CAD a little tighter. You know, makes their drawings a little tighter when they know, you know. But that's the kind of architect we're
I agree.
looking for, I'm looking for, is something they'll say, I'll put my name on the line, I'll put my money on the line, should we have to make a change. Because that's different when it's the architect's money versus the county's money.
Yes. I'd like to work with Jason and build as many incentives as we can to, you know, if we can keep things under sharing in savings, but they pay the cost for a penalty and overage. That was just nothing but a failure of design. I mean, we can't overcome digging in the ground and find something we didn't know.
Sure.
But I've worked on a lot of projects where we've initiated that into the contract, even with the general contractors and such. You know, we need to have them committed to a schedule before they award the contract. I mean, you can get a lot of stuff before you award the contract. Once you get the contract awarded, then you're at their mercy. But, you know, if we should have penalties in place if they cannot meet milestones on a project. So, yeah, we're gonna put together a really aggressive, contracts. We're gonna make sure we screen people, and some of the questions we'll ask in our RFP is, you know, what is your average, what has been your overage, they call it contingency, you know, what's been your percentage? And tell me the time, have you ever had one run over your percentage, and if so, what was it? What could you have done to avoid it? I mean, we're gonna get really into these guys, shorts here, so to speak.
I like it.
Yeah. Okay, well, thank you.
Well, I have some concerns, I'm gonna let you guys know, and you know I'm going to.
Please.
First of all, this committee, whoever they are, I have no idea, didn't know anything about it, chose 6 companies to approach.
Mary, we chose that committee in our meeting, though, I just want to be clear about that.
In what meeting?
In our commissioners meeting, we
Where?
established, Mr. Spindler and myself. And,
What commissioners
So we
meeting?
put-
I don't remember that meeting. I don't remember reading the minutes of it.
well, I'd be glad to show you, but we did establish our group, our core group.
Okay, fine, whatever. I think you guys are doing everything by the back door and everything else. I don't trust you, I'm sorry. That's the way it is.
I do hate that you feel that way, but we're.
Too much is being done that,
Our,
I mean, I think I would have known if I had heard a committee being
I
put
agree,
together.
I agree.
And I don't remember a committee being put together. We, you know, when we did this before, we requested. We put out in public a request for this information, and we looked it over. And I don't mind the, you know, opinion of somebody that's worked on it, and that, I don't mind that at all. I'm just, it's like, all of a sudden, we're not doing things like I've been taught how we're supposed to do. So,
Well, and I realize that, you know, different groups do things different ways and whatnot, but, just so everyone knows, like in our pre-design efforts, we're doing our best to get together a core group of folks that we feel like can, make this project a success the entire way through. So now I feel sorry that you feel left out in that regard, but I do think that we appointed our preliminary group, and, we did so in the commissioners meeting, and so no one's trying to leave you out, and I realize that, you may have some questions, and you're welcome to answer, you're welcome to ask them. But,
And I'm sharing every step of the process all along with Karen Pollock, so she has a project out. No, we've done an objective follow protocol, and if she's had any suggestions, we want to follow that, so we are fully aligned with.
I remember we had it, because I said something about, I wanted to see Tim on that committee too, because it's his jail, I mean,
Yes,
he's
I
the
know.
sheriff, he needs to be there.
That's what I want to know, who's on that committee.
Well, and I believe too, that Mr. Bonds is already on the committee that will take this into the second phase of the next step. So maybe that's not, just so you know, you've not been taken off of any committees. The pre-existing committee that you were on or were part of in the jail process, you're still on there. So this process that we're going through right now, whereby we are, filling out the matrix and doing all of our footwork to establish an architect, their work will be, and correct me if I'm wrong on any of this, Byron, but their work will be moved to the next committee. So And I don't even know if I'll be on that committee or who will be on it necessarily. I know it was pre-established, at least some of the members were, sheriff included, but I would expect the sheriff to be, handling the baton very soon. How about that?
This is
Well,
a,
if I was put on that committee, if it had meetings, I had not been informed of any meetings.
Did you not do a jail review, back, with the former commissioners, I guess is the question.
Yes, sir.
No,
I'm talking about the current committee, like you said, that I was appointed to. I've not been formally told, and I've not been to any meetings.
there hasn't been any meetings.
You haven't missed anything.
And all we're doing is taking 6 and getting it down to 2 or 3, and then we're gonna get serious about who will be our architect, kind of culling it out, and then this is a step I think you want to have.
I'm talking about the jail committee itself.
Yeah.
Jason, Warren, who else?
Well, that's, chief of police. Yeah, Derek McGraw, he's on there.
So Sheriff, right now, the committee that keeps getting discussed is the selection of the replacement A&E firm and working on that contract. And then the committee that you previously served on, that you've not been booted off of, is what we do from there. Once we get that firm selected, where's this building going? Where is that now, or a different location, and so forth. So I understand that those committee members consisted of the judges, the prosecutor, yourself, and some others, and we don't intend to preclude them from involvement in this. This is just the selection of that A&E replacement firm.
Thank you.
Thank you, Barb.
I have a question. Where did you get the 6 firms from? Is that something from work the jail committee had already done?
Sure.
Sure, the 6 firms that we just looked at, again, this was just a filtering process to get down to 2 or 3, but we wanted to make sure we didn't overlook anybody that's qualified. We want to make sure we've done it. So we've included 6 firms. ADG was a firm that's done some jail work over in Illinois. They're in Mount Carmel. We have contacted an entertaining group called DLC. They're out of Indianapolis. Eldadis is located in Fort Wayne. A company called K2M. They've done a lot of detention center projects for the state, and they're in Indianapolis as well. R2AW is out of Indianapolis, and they've done a lot of state projects. And then a larger firm that has contacted, I think, Jeremy, and STUV out of Chicago. So these firms have shown interest, and we didn't want to eliminate anybody without a process. So we took them through a filtering process, and we're going to get down now to the ones I think that can really deliver for Sheriff. He's going to be the key guy that we can make sure they're on it. With other people, all the criminal justice people need to be involved in this, because it's, keep the jail compliant. We've got to move through the courts, and it all ties together. So we're going to look at the older encompassing look at solutions. Hold that.
So, but you didn't advertise for the request, just got recommendations?
Yeah.
Okay.
All of which have, vast experience in jail projects.
Yeah, I don't think we've eliminated anybody that has jails. We beat the bushes at who's done jails, even to look a little bit of jail. No, I don't think we missed anybody that does jails.
Thank you, Barb.
Thank you.
Do we have anything else in regards to, questions for Barb or anything?
That's great.
In that case, new business, park grant bid advertisement. Matt?
Yeah, I know we'll have to take off. I actually have John, he's got a drawing that I gave you to kind of show everybody what all is gonna be involved in this bid. This is a $200,000 matching grant, 50/50 matching grant. With the Department of Natural Resources, been a couple of years since we were awarded. The match for it came from a land donation of the 2 wings. So you can see a yellow line there, that's a pipeline. And then basically straight up here, kind of just east of this stuff, those 2 wings were donated by the Hopkins family at a above $200,000 value to match the $200,000 from IDNR. With this bid proposal, there's a 2¼ acre lake to be built. There's a fishing pier, fishing dock to be built. Sidewalk going from there back to, that's actually existing shelter house, existing sidewalk, and existing, picnic, area. Be resurfacing the playground with ADA approved rubber mulch. And then taking a sidewalk over to the east, so the proposed ADA bench pad, there's benches out there that are currently in the grass. We're adding concrete pads there to set them on ADA approved to a restroom facility. Like a septic tank, field bed, water line coming up. The pond will have an aeration system, water quality. That's included too, I don't have it on the drawing yet, that stuff I gotta finish. But this will be all done by one contractor, one bid, especially with other projects. We want a general contractor and sub out what they don't specialize in. Some constraints we have on the site, there's a pipeline on west here, that electric in there is actually part of the pipeline. It's electric, it's hooked up to the pipeline for the road, or pipeline deterioration stuff, it's marked out there. And then there's high voltage power line running up north of the pond, several hundred feet, the very top edge there. So everything's kind of inside of those limits, ties into existing facilities that are there now. So, that's a quick and dirty, view of what all's gonna be done out there. I've got a couple days worth of work left, just get the documents done. The Rule 5 permit, I'm started, and the septic system permit. That'll be an easy one, that subject's easy, it's gonna stay local, because it's a small facility. I would like to advertise Tuesday next week, the first advertisement. As soon as I put the advertisement out, people are gonna want the documents. That gives me rest of the week, this week, and one day on Monday. Not very much time to get it done. Especially with the federal aid meeting tomorrow, and then I know the meeting Friday too. Thursday, partially Friday, and several public over the county blowing up everywhere. So fast tracking, the best case would be advertised again the 16th, and then that would allow us to open up bids March 2nd. Talking to Will, this kind of complex project with not just building a lake, not just building a bathroom facility, I don't know if I can review them that quick and get the best recommendation. So I'd probably ask the table the bids for review so we can get through them better. Normally on a standard bridge project, paving project, I can look at the numbers and I've done enough that I can come back 20 minutes later, recommend approval.
So you're gonna try and use the same contractor for everything? I mean,
Yes,
the lake and everything.
It'll be one contractor responsible for everything, water line, septic, and most of it is kind of a site work contractor.
Yeah.
Other than, like aeration systems, not a big deal, it's trenching a line from the bathroom facility, will have a mechanical room, to house the, pressure for the aeration system. And we're actually spec'd out a solar powered aeration system. So solar panels will be on the roof of the bathroom. So the water line has to come up, it's another trenching type, civil type work. So there's a lot of this is equipment, dirt work, other than the actual building of the bathroom. Way back in the beginning of this, I priced out a prefab bathroom, and it was like $80,000 for one small bathroom. They bring it with a crane and said they'll have. Yeah, we got a $200,000 budget, it's been $80,000 in the bathroom. So, I think there's a couple little things, like 280 and 50 tables had to be purchased and put together. With that grant, everything part had to become ADA compliant. Which luckily a lot of it was ADA compliant when it was built. I had something to do with that, and knowing this grant was going to come eventually, sidewalks built ADA compliant and that kind of stuff, so no rip out type stuff. Other than it was the surface on the playground, it was mulch, part was mulch, part was pea gravel. It's in the contract that they remove all that, put the rubber mulch in. So, get the bid documents done, and the bid one. I'm sure I put the contractors off there. I know what advertise today, but can you give me a couple days to finish them up and get them printed? Because it's gonna take half a day, print all the drawings, put the bid packages together. So, that's probably the best case scenario. I guess I had to deal with this a time or two where I didn't have quite stuff ready. I don't want to wait 2 more weeks on getting approval to bid, and I asked for a motion of approving bid advertisement, pending, completion of bid documents. That way, if I can get them done by Tuesday, then I can advertise the next Tuesday. Which will push back things a little bit, but, this project's getting tied up for completion September 21, they need to get out soon, and now is the best time to do it. I mean, with our best prices, people are so hungry, not everybody's covered up with work. So getting it out soon is gonna be beneficial financially also. Big thing on that one is, if the bids come back higher than what was estimated years ago, well, I don't know how long ago, it was before me, that was what was submitted for the grant. We either have to apply for reduction of amenities or come up with the money to pay for it. We kind of prepare ourselves a little bit for that. The ADA mulch has already been purchased, at the highway department being stored. So if the bids come in and it can be paid for by this grant, then that money would be reimbursed back to the county, go back to the park fund to be used for other things. If they come back higher, we've got a $15,000 bucket there. But the issue is, if it comes out even higher, that don't work, we'll have to be looking for some money to make sure that we can get everything done, because we were awarded the project based on how much was gonna be completed. So, yeah, just a motion to advertise as soon as the document completes, all I'm really looking for you guys.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that.
Got a motion made, we've got a second, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Matt.
I'll keep you guys updated on email when the advertisement, and Mike, I'll get with you, because Harold's office will do the advertisement. So, thank you.
I believe that concludes, do we have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Thank you all for attending, and feel free to see us afterwards if you have any concerns or questions.
Yeah.